All right, all right, all right. Sorry for the delay, but we're here now, live and direct. So, let me just make sure my sound is on. Um, Last time I did this, my sound was on. Just need to make sure this is working. I'm never good at checking if this is working. So let me open an incognito tab. Then we'll go from there. Sound on. Okay, it's working. Boom. All right, let's go. Let's get into it. I'm gonna just make a post on IG if my phone wasn't dead. Okay, perfect. All right then, let's get into it. Let me make sure I can share my screen, and then we'll go live-o. So today, team, I want to just go over a couple things in regards to using your Instagram stories, and then we'll do 10 minutes on some profile reviews for those of you that have your Instagram profiles ready that want to get reviewed. I would post this on my story, but my phone's dead. Probably should have prepared that. So I'll share my screen. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of it, and then we'll go from there. Let me get Canva up. I'll minimize that one. All right, so let me see if I can get this to work. Okay. There we go. Cool. Perfect. So yeah, I'm going to go through, how to sell your program using Instagram stories. And for me, Instagram stories is easily one of the most powerful ways to grow your coaching business. I think it's heavily underrated, and it's one of the more, it's heavily underrated. And I think a lot of people don't recognize that it's the best way to basically have a conversation with people without having to actually talk to people. So a lot of coaches, they don't understand how to kind of use Instagram stories. And that's kind of a big reason why they don't make sales. So I'm going to show you what I recommend and how you can do it in 2024 in a more, in a fashion that kind of suits you as well. Doesn't feel spammy, doesn't feel like, doesn't feel, I'm not to describe it, but it feels natural. So some things to remember and what makes Instagram stories so powerful. There's 500 million active users on IG stories, and 70% of the users, of all IG users, they watch stories. 87% of IG users post stories. So everyone's on stories. Instagram stories is used by 36% of businesses, and 25% of Gen Z and millennials use IG stories to find services. So there's a good chunk of people here utilizing stories for different purposes, and only 36% of businesses are actually using them. So a lot of people don't actually use it for business purposes when you think about it. That's just over a third of people. So you could be putting yourself in a good position by using it more. When it comes to fitness and online coaching, though, what I've noticed is there's kind of two camps when it comes to the whole Instagram stories thing. One thing is there's people that use it too much. So, and when I say too much, they've got like loads of stories. I think if you've got more than like 10 or 12 stories in a day, it's almost overboard. But then you've got people that don't use it at all. So if any of the people that are watching right now, if I go on your Instagram and I see there's 0 stories, I'm going to be like, hey, what's going on? You're a coach. You're an online coach. You've got to be online. You've got to be active. So I always say coaches want to fall somewhere in between the camp of too much, but barely use it at all, which means you got to find that happy medium of being in between that. So that means that you got to pretty much work out how to just not be too active, but active enough so people know you're there, you're active, and you're online. If you kind of do this perfectly, the magic is there. It helps you connect with your audience. They get to know you. The closest thing for me to get to know you, the only way I can do that is if I'm either in a room with you, I'm talking to you every day on the phone. That's the closest thing I'm going to get. Instagram stories is the closest thing someone's going to get to like seeing your world, getting behind the scenes with you as an individual. Yeah. They get to know you. So that's really important. Another thing as well, and I read this from another coach, and he basically was just saying that, like, yo, a lot of people online, they say things like, I don't care what people think about me or da-da-da-da-da. But ultimately, you do want people to like you, because the people in your program, you want them to enjoy working with you. They're going to be with you for 6 months or 90-day transformation or whatever, or a year transformation. You want to connect personality-wise. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like, a lot of people in our program are people that are like me. They're young, they've got personality, they like to chat. Like, you're going to attract the kind of people that you are. So you actually want that. Personality, interaction. This is a place where IG stories, you can start conversations. And that's really, really critical. Instagram stories is a great place to just start conversations. A lot of people don't recognize that. Sales, so when you do it properly, you can sell on your stories. And then values, you can show people what you stand for. So a lot of people don't see the power in this, but everyone has their values on their belief systems. There's nothing wrong with sharing that. Obviously, as long as you're not hurting other people and stuff like that, like, you should be free to share those values, because what it does is it actually connects you with people when they can see that, we share similar values. And if you share similar values, that's a good thing. That means that when they get on the phone with you, like, they're already in a buying position. All right. So what I'm going to go through is some general flow of how to use your stories effectively. And if you got any questions as well, just pop them in the chat. So questions, pop them here. Yeah, because we'll kind of go with it. So when you're using your stories, you should have like a daily flow. Generally speaking, you always want to have something that starts off your day. I like to view my stories like a TV show. So start of the day, it's like my own TV show. So I always got a similar theme in the morning. Usually I go to the gym. I've been sick this week, so I haven't been going to the gym, but generally it'll be like a gym selfie or something like that. Something that you do. I know a guy that used to do like, 10,000 steps. And every day in the morning, just say, got my 10,000 steps. And it was annoying, but that was his like TV show. Okay, so it could be steps, could be your breakfast, it could be clips from a morning workout. But try and have something that you do on a regular basis. Really, really powerful. Next thing, show us what you do. Something that I need to get better at personally is like, once a day, you should be showing something related to what you do and how you help people get results. Designing programs, meal plans, check-ins, looms, members area, working on your business, whatever it is, like, you get your phone out, take a little picture of it behind the scenes kind of thing. Yeah. That's really, really powerful, by the way. So one of my favorite things to do. Another kind of flow for your day. Show your personal interests. So what do you like to do? What are you into? Show some of this off. People will gravitate towards you as an individual. So show people a little bit about what you're into, Maybe you like certain type of music. Maybe you like certain TV show or whatever. Really, really good. Unique. So now this is kind of similar to the thing above, but the only difference is like there might be things about you that you feel like are really quirky, that makes you different, and you might not be too confident about sharing it, but I would always advise you share it because it helps you build trust. Yeah. So there's nothing and also there's probably going to be someone out there that has a similar quirk to you. Trust me. In fact, there is, because no one's we're all unique, but we're not that unique. Trust me. So whatever you have that's unique, use it. In addition to that, something repeatable. So repeatable engagement. On a daily basis, you should be doing something that involves quizzes, polls, sliders, something like that. Like something that you can use to basically get people to engage. I like to do quizzes and polls because it gets people like pressing on my story and watching, which is really, really powerful. So I would be thinking about doing stuff like that. And, you know, now we've got an idea of it. This is kind of what a flow might look like in a day, in a 24-hour day of you posting on stories. So it might be anything from like 6 to 8 stories. You can break this down even further. And obviously you have the freedom to get creative with this, but it gives you an opportunity to kind of understand what you should try and do. Whoops. Sorry, I just realized I just made my whole screen look funny. We're back. Cool. So, you know, in the morning, you might do like a selfie with a coffee AM, selfie, blah, blah, blah. Engagement poll. So then you might do a poll. I used to do a poll every day. Did you work out today? That was literally it. Did you work out today? Workout clips, updating programs. So little screenshot behind the scenes. I might screenshot my laptop and then maybe like some value for the day. So you should be giving value in your stories in terms of little nuggets, breaking beliefs. When I say breaking beliefs, that means things like, you know, saying things that kind of go against what most people think is true. So some people think, oh, if I eat pasta, I'm going to get fat. You can do like, talk to your stories and be like, I was talking to my mum the other day and she always says things like, oh, eating pasta makes me fat. And I tried to explain to her that, no, that's actually not true. Like, eating pasta doesn't make you fat. Calories make you fat. And then you can give value. So, but it's Instagram stories. So use a story to give the value. That's kind of how I like to do it. Very, very powerful. And you can obviously get creative with this. You do not have to just do this style, but this is kind of a daily flow. Yeah. To make your life easier for content and things moving forward, have your photo albums and set them out. So you've got like a folder for all your client results, workout clips, memes, and weekly check-in feedback. So then you can actually post this on your story every week. And then also save content that you could use for yourself. So inspiring content, business ideas, funny, real ideas, stuff like that. Save it. And then lastly, what's happened here? Oh, there we go. We're back. Yeah. The next thing is like using your stories to make sales and basically getting people to take action. You might notice some coaches, they're like really heavy on like pushing people to book calls with them or buy from them on their stories. My advice here is to actually use storytelling to then push people to book a call or download your lead magnet or stuff like that. So I like to identify a problem. So story one might be something like, oh, do you ever feel like you just can't lose that last 10 pounds of fat? You can do this as a written story, you know, the like a plain background, written story, whatever it is, right? Story two, I know exactly how that felt. I was in the same boat a couple of years before I started my own journey. Story three, what's the one thing you wish you could fix with your training and nutrition? Then in that one, I'd probably put like some polls and some, I'd put a poll. So it'd be like, dieting, training program, you know, stress management. So I give them some options. Then the next story would be, I'll talk about my program. So within the Optimized Athlete Coaching Program, we have an elite set of protocols that ensure you lose 10 pounds in just 30 days. So there's that. And then lastly, story 5, DM me the word optimized and I'll reach out via the DMs. Or you could do a poll saying, would you like to know more about our 3-step protocol? And then it'll be like yes or maybe. Always yes and maybe, never no. And the reason I don't put no is because I don't want anyone to say no to me. So that's why I like to do that. So from there, you DM them and you have a conversation. So that's like a flow of stories. So that would be like a 6-story sequence, and you could just do that for the day. On that, you'd only do this once a week. You wouldn't do something like this every week because this is a very hard push to a sales call. So obviously you can't do this every week. That would be kind of crazy. So you wouldn't want to do that. And then there's a little Instagram story hack that's been working over the last couple of months, and it's basically where you let your Instagram stories die out. Like they just let your stories die out completely. Yeah. 24 hours, because you know it expires. So let your stories die out. I like to do this on the weekend. Then Sunday morning, you're going to post an eye-catching photo or put up a very generic poll that's going to get you lots of engagement. Yeah. And it would be something, here's an example. You might put a picture of a dog. You know, everyone loves dogs. It's going to get loads of engagement. And then the poll might be something like, what's your favorite dog breed? Or pick your favorite dog breed out of these 4. And then you give them 4 dog breeds. I just need to do something that's going to get them loads of engagement. So I let all my stories expire. Then I do this, post on a Sunday. Then I follow it up with 1 or 2 pictures of social proof. Yeah. And then on the 3rd slide, it's just going to say, I'm going to do a poll asking if you're interested in getting similar results. Yes, maybe, tell me more. Those are the 3 answers. You can't say no. Yeah. For some reason, and I don't know why, but the Instagram algorithm will boost the stories when it's like when you let all your stories expire. I don't know the secret behind it. I don't know what they're doing over at Instagram to cause it, but it does work. It does work. Okay. Then lastly, lead magnets. So my advice here is lead magnets once a week, 1 to 2 times a week. Post it on your Instagram stories, attach it to the post, which is very, very powerful. You got to remember, like, when I started online coaching, you couldn't even put a link in your story unless you had 10,000 followers. So things have changed. Once a week, direct call to action. You know, be very blunt. Call to action. Just literally, just let people know, hey, got a few slots available this week. Boom, done. Next thing, quizzes and polls. So every 2 weeks, you should have like 1 fitness-related quiz and then 1 non-fitness related quiz. So a fitness related quiz might be something like, you might have like a video of you squatting and you have a quiz and it might say something like, which body parts get activated when I do a squat? And then you list out different body parts. Then it might be another one. Oh, what muscle group is being trained when I do reverse lunges? And you just do a series of quizzes that are all fitness related. And then another version is the non-fitness related quiz where you're just doing something generic. These are really great for getting engagement. So you might do something like, you may do something along the lines of, I would do something like, me personally, I do something around sports because sports is universal. So it'll be like, what's your favorite sport? Who's the best athlete in the world? I've done things in the past where it's like, you know, do you put the banana in the fridge or do you leave them in the cupboard? Stuff like that, where you know you're going to get loads of votes, loads of engagement. Every Sunday, little Q&A. So you just do a question box, let people ask you questions. And yeah, again, like I said, let your stories expire at least once a week. It will boost the views. I still don't know the reason behind it, but it happens. Just some mistakes to avoid as we wrap this up. A lot of people just don't post enough on their stories. They just don't post at all. Do not be that person. If you're only promoting your services all the time with no value, again, that's not very helpful. Not looking at your insights. You should be looking at your insights all the time. You should be adding captions to your stories. You should be using engagement polls. You shouldn't post too many slides. If you don't ever ask the audience questions, there's no reason for them to respond to you. And then lastly, don't start your stories with hey guys. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So pretty simple stuff. But mainly I want you guys to get into the habit of getting on your stories actively day to day, giving value, try and give like 1 valuable tip a day, show people behind the scenes. That's how you make sales. You don't make sales from just like, just being on your stories, talking rubbish. Of course, you want to talk rubbish on your stories sometimes. You want to give people an opportunity to get to know you. That's important every day. But you need to have some structure to it. And that's how you can sell through your stories. Then you need to make sure you're doing these things once a week. 1 direct call to action. 1 indirect call to action. A lead magnet. Quizzes and polls. You've got to use the engagement factors so that you can then make more sales, basically. So that is pretty much it. If we've got any questions, ask away. If not, I'm going to save this and make sure it's uploaded into the members area. I'll give it a minute or 2. and then we'll go from there. If we don't have any questions, then I'm gonna have to run off because I'm hungry. All right. Well, it doesn't look like there's any questions, so we're gonna end this stream and broadcast, and this will be up. I'll put this on the YouTube channel. Oh wait, yes. Is this video going to be up on YouTube to refer to again? Yeah, of course. But I'm gonna put this in the. This is gonna be in the community, so because this is for the free community, but this will be in the community and it will be in the on YouTube as well, of course. So yeah, it'll be in 2 places. I'm gonna give myself a 100 logo, and then it's logged me out. I can't see the chat. That's weird. Anyway, what's happened to the chat? I can't see the chat. Hold on, team. The chat's gone. Oh, there we go. Yes, Mandy. It will be. It will be. All right, team. I'm going to end this stream and get this up in the members area.